Upon the US launch of Sonic Adventure in September 1999, it wouldn't take too long for another Sonic game to get released. However, it wouldn't be made for the Sega Dreamcast. In August 1999, the SNK Corporation announced that they would be collaborating with Sega to release a new Sonic game for their 8-bit handheld system, the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Thus, this would end up becoming the first ever Sonic game to be made by a third-party company, while still being supervised by Yuji Naka and Sega. This would also mark the first time a Sonic game would get released on a non-Sega console. Or I guess second if you want to count Sonic Jam on Gamecom, but let's pretend that game doesn't exist. SNK's Sonic game would end up being called Sonic Pocket Adventure, which got released in December 1999 for the US and Japan, and then later released in February 2000 for Europe. While Pocket Adventure would end up being the only Sonic game that SNK ever worked on, several members of the company who worked on Pocket Adventure would later go on to form another company called Dimps in 2000. Of course, Sonic fans may remember this company for working on the Advance trilogy, the Rush games, Wii and PS2 Unleashed, DS Colors, and 3DS Generations, and not to mention both episodes of Sonic 4 and 3DS Lost World. Okay, maybe not the most perfect track record ever, but it's still pretty cool to think that Sonic Pocket Adventure might technically be the first ever Dimps developed Sonic game. Fans can be pretty split on how Dimps can handle this franchise, so how did they do with their first ever outing with the Blue Blur? Well, if this means anything, Sonic Pocket Adventure is the only Sonic game to date that got a perfect 10 out of 10 score from IGN. Yes, the company whose reviewers have given these games both solid and pretty controversial scores. For whatever reason, Sonic Pocket Adventure just ticked all the boxes for whoever reviewed it back then. I never actually played Sonic Pocket Adventure until I had to do this review. I do own a physical copy of the game, but I don't own a Neo Geo Pocket Color since they could be pretty pricey on sites like eBay. Even then, there's no way you can capture footage from a Pocket Color unless you mod a TV output on the system itself, which I'm not currently able to do. Sadly, Sonic Pocket Adventure has never been ported on any other console, along with just being left off the main game collections we got over the years. So for this review, I'm just gonna have to emulate the game, so let's see what Sonic Pocket Adventure has to offer. The plot of the game is really simple. Dr. Eggman returns and starts doing his usual shtick of turning animals into robots, so Sonic has to go put a stop to him and save the day. That's basically it. I guess moving on to the gameplay, Sonic Pocket Adventure plays pretty faithfully to the classic games. Sonic is the only playable character, and he doesn't have any special moves, just his spin dash. But when it comes to the way the game plays, while the physics aren't a perfect one-to-one representation, I'm actually pretty happy that SNK still nailed a lot of the core aspects of the first 4 games. The momentum is solid, the levels aren't entirely filled with a lot of the Dimps isms that would ruin Sonic 4, so the level design is super tight all around. Graphically, you may have noticed that a lot of these zones appear to be mostly based on Sonic 2 levels. So while this is technically a modern Sonic game, it's still mainly using classic aesthetics, though that only applies to the look of the levels. All the characters are still using their modern appearances. So Sonic's got his green eyes, and Eggman is wearing his Adventure era jacket. I gotta say, seeing an 8-bit rendition of Adventure Eggman is pretty sick. Plus, Sonic's sprite in this game is one of my favorites. He just looks so adorable. This game really is an interesting blend of multiple eras of Sonic. Like, not only are we seeing the classic art direction in the levels, the Adventure era designs for the characters, but even the soundtrack uses another element from the previous games. Sonic Pocket Adventure's soundtrack mostly consists of music rearranged from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Yeah, we have levels based off Sonic 2 that are mostly accompanied by Sonic 3 music. That's kind of insane. The remixes sound pretty solid too. The instrumentation isn't too awful for a handheld game released in the late 90s. Not every level uses Sonic 3 music, but I'll get more into that when I get to the level breakdown. If you think about it, with how a lot of the modern Sonic games have been reusing both older zones and music from the previous games, you can almost say that Sonic Pocket Adventure was pretty ahead of its time, in a very sad way. Now, I don't think this game reusing level assets is as huge a deal as when Sonic Forces or even Frontiers reused them, mainly since, at the time, I don't think people gave a crap about how they were playing similar looking levels not too long after the classic games came out, since the franchise wasn't even a decade old yet. but it is an interesting observation. Despite most of them being based on Sonic 2 levels, they're actually still presenting themselves as original zones. By the way, this is a super short game, with only 8 zones in total. There is a 9th zone that's unlockable, but I'll get to it later. The first level is Neo South Island, which is mostly based off Emerald Hill from Sonic 2, but there's also elements of Green Hill from Sonic 1, and even Palm Tree Panic from Sonic CD. It's almost like a big combination to make the perfect first level for a Sonic game, and it's pretty solid. The music from Act 1 is actually a remix of the Sonic World theme from Sonic Jam, while Act 2 uses a remix of Angel Island Act 1. Kinda weird that Act 2 is using Act 1 music, but whatever. Zone 2 is the Secret Plant, based on Chemical Plant, and uses the music from Angel Island Act 2 and Hydro City Act 2 for the first 2 acts respectively. A pretty solid second zone. Though Act 2 was where I encountered a pretty obnoxious bottomless pit, which led to me getting my first game over. Later years Dimps rearing its ugly head here. However, there is one really sweet feature. Sonic Pocket Adventure has a save system. So if you get a game over, you can go back to the same level and try again. Not only that, but you can choose between both acts. It's so sick, and later Dimps games would continue to have that option too. I'm honestly still shocked that this simple feature to choose which act you want to replay just wasn't in Sonic Mania's save system at all. Quite a shame. Next is Cosmic Casino, which is a fun take on Casino Night, and even includes the slot machines. Just another fun little level. And both acts continue to use music from Sonic 3, but interestingly enough, this level uses music from the Sonic 3 bonus stages. So Act 1 is using the Gumball Machine music, and Act 2 uses the slot machine music. Huh, that's pretty cool. It's not every day that the bonus stages from Sonic 3 get any sort of attention like this. Alright, I'm gonna be real. All the levels can be super short to play through, and I don't really have that much to say about each and every one of them, so I'm just gonna blow past the rest and mention whatever references to the original games I want to bring up. Aquatic Relic Zone. It's just Aquatic Ruins from Sonic 2, complete with its own underwater section that you can easily skip over if you know the right routes. The first act uses music from Mushroom Hill Act 1, and the second act uses Hydro City Act 1. Act 2 ends with a remake of the Hidden Palace Knuckles boss fight from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and it's just as easy as it was in 1994. The boss music for this fight is Flying Battery Act 2, which is cool, though interestingly enough, one of the short cutscenes with Knuckles uses the original Knuckles theme from Sonic 3. You know, the sick drum beat from Sonic 3 that Sonic and Knuckles later changed? Pretty cool. But seeing how this track was one of the songs that Sonic and Knuckles had to change, it's very likely the original track was handled by the Michael Jackson sound team from Sonic 3. Ergo, this song might be the main contributing factor as to why Sonic Pocket Adventure has never been re-released. Crap. Sky Chase Zone, a single act zone, and yeah, it's just Sky Chase Zone from Sonic 2. I wasn't too big a fan of this auto-scrolling level, and I'm not too crazy about it being reused. Looking at you too, Sonic Mania. But the level's fine in Pocket Adventure, I guess. The music is actually Azir Lake from Sonic 3's competition mode. Sweet! Aero Base Zone, another one-act zone that's basically this game's version of Wing Fortress Zone. It's another solid zone, and it uses music from the first act of Sonic 3's Death Egg. The zone even ends with a boss encounter with the original Mecha Sonic from Sonic 2, accompanied by Doomsday Zone's music as the boss theme, which sounds super badass. Oh yeah, I'll get to the rest of the boss fights in a bit. Gigantic Angel Zone. This level is pretty fascinating. While it's mostly based on Metropolis from Sonic 2, the look of the zone is actually more inspired by Scrap Brain from Sonic 1, so that's kind of a cool mixture of the two zones. And the music in both acts uses songs from Sonic 3's competition mode again, with Act 1 using Desert Palace, and Act 2 using Chrome Gadget. Before I get to the 8th zone, going over the boss fights, they're pretty basic, kinda like the other classic games. However, not counting Mecha Sonic and Knuckles, every zone in the game uses completely unique Eggman boss fights. Again, they're all pretty easy to figure out, but I still like the fact that all these boss fights are original. My favorite boss fight probably has to be Gigantic Angel Zone, mainly because I love how you can hop on the mushroom clouds that Eggman's bombs form, making you able to hit Eggman a few more times. It's such a cool detail. And in the spirit of the rest of this game's soundtrack, the first few Eggman fights uses the boss music from Sonic 3, but Gigantic Angel Zone uses the boss music from Sonic and Knuckles, and in the case of the 8th zone, Last Utopia, it uses the final boss music from Sonic 3, which is mainly because this is the last main Eggman boss fight in the game, unless you can get to the true final boss. How do you get to it? Well, of course, there are Chaos Emeralds to go after. Just like the classic games, we have to get them from special stages. To get to the special stages, you have to collect 50 rings in the first level acts, including Sky Chase, and simply jump into a big ring at the end of the level like in Sonic 1 and CD. A pretty simple task, though in some of the later levels, certain obstacles can make you lose your rings. Thankfully, the standard blue shield can be found in some levels, so I recommend getting the shield when you can. Collecting 50 rings in Sky Chase can still be a pain in the ass though. It was one of the first times in the game where I had to keep using save states. The special stages are, huge shocker, the half pipes from Sonic 2. It's not a bad rendition of the special stages, and I think this was only the second time it was reused. However, just like the original half pipe stages, the depth perception can really screw you up at points. Unsurprisingly, I had to use a lot of save states to finish these stages. They can be a huge pain, but who knows, maybe at some point in the future, I'll replay Pocket Adventure enough times to really master these special stages in one run like I did with Sonic 2. Oh yeah, the stages also have these flower items you can pick up, which I don't really know what they're supposed to do, but I thought I'd bring it up anyways. You're probably expecting the music to be a remix of either Blue Spear or something like that, but the special stages is actually one of the only parts of the game where it uses mostly original music. I say mostly because it still features portions of Sonic 3's title screen music, which was also used for this game's title screen too. But still, it's pretty cool that the special stages have a unique song. However, there are only 6 special stages in the game. So does that mean there's only 6 emeralds in this game like in Sonic 1? No, there's actually still 7 emeralds in this game, but only the first 6 can be get through special stages. So where do you get the last one? I was actually stuck on this for a pretty good while, but it turns out, Eggman's machine in Last Utopia is actually using the last Chaos Emerald as a power source. You literally have to jump into the emerald a few times to knock it out of Eggman's machine. Then you have to quickly grab the emerald once it flies off to collect it. That's a really odd way for you to finish getting all the emeralds, but I guess I'll still praise the game for trying something different. A little heads up would have been nice. So getting all 7 Chaos Emeralds will grant you access to the 9th and final zone, where the true final boss takes place. This is the Chaotic Space Zone, where, kind of like Doomsday Zone, you have to chase down Eggman as Supersonic and carefully knock his missiles back at him to damage him. You just gotta hit Eggman a few times, and that's the end of the game. It's a solid final boss, but the collision detection on the missiles can be a little tricky to figure out. But once you kinda get the hang of it and know what the right sweet spots are, it's not too awful to deal with. And since this is a post-adventure and pre-Sonic 4 era game, this means Chaotic Space Zone is the only part of the game where you play as Supersonic, so he's not playable in regular levels. That really sucks, and it's like the only major part of the game that doesn't try to replicate something from the classics, but it also doesn't ruin the experience either. What's pretty interesting is that since Mecha Sonic and the Last Utopia boss fights already used the perfect final boss themes from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Chaotic Space Zone decided to use the Sky Sanctuary music, which is kinda weird. Like, the 8-bit rendition of the song still sounds good, but Sky Sanctuary's music doesn't really fit for a final boss theme, in my opinion. I guess they were running out of songs to use. It would have been neat if they made an original boss theme, but oh well. Oh yeah, this game has a few brief level cutscenes like in Sonic 3, though they're not anything spectacular. But both the good and bad endings feature some really cool ending cutscene graphics. I just love seeing the adventure designs in these 8-bit renditions. It makes me so happy. Also, the staff roll music is another unique track that doesn't reuse any music at all, and it's not bad. Though, while on the topic of Sonic 3's music, both the Zone Select and the Options menu use the Safe Select music from Sonic 3. Yay! Moving on to the extra content, it's decent. The extras are in a menu called Room, which includes a trial mode, duel mode, and a puzzle room. Trial mode is basically the time attack, while duel mode is the multiplayer mode that lets you utilize the Neo Geo Pocket Link cable, which I can't really show off because I'm emulating the game. The puzzle room is pretty interesting. In levels, you'll come across these strange little items you can pick up. These items are actually puzzle pieces, and collecting all of them will give you 8-bit artwork of the characters. It's a cool extra, but I don't think they do anything besides build up a small gallery of character renders. And that's Sonic Pocket Adventure. Yeah, there's not much else to really say about this game. It's just an overall really solid handheld Sonic game. I like the way it looks, it plays alright, the music has a lot of solid remixes, and it's just a nice short little Sonic game that you can easily pick up and play. I think Some Call Me Johnny summarized it best, but this basically is just Sonic 2 Lite, featuring the soundtrack of Sonic 3. So I'd recommend giving this game a go if you're a Sonic fan and haven't played it yet. Also, if you're bummed out about Sonic being the only playable character, there is a way to access the game's debug mode using emulators and editing the ROM file of the game. This can give you the ability to play as Tails, but I think he just plays the exact same as Sonic with no flying ability at all. However, if you wanted a more interesting take on playing as different characters in Pocket Adventure, then I recommend looking up the ROM hack Sonic Pocket Winter, a proof of concept mod that lets you play as Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, with Tails and Knuckles having their flying and gliding respectively. It's a pretty sick mod, so I recommend checking it out. Of course, if you were gonna try to get the base game, that would mean either emulating the game, or going out of your way to get a physical copy, and a Neo Geo Pocket Color, which would be a pretty pricey investment, and for a game that's way too short for it to be worth it. I really hope Pocket Adventure sees a port soon. Like, you guys know about SNK's Neo Geo re-releases they've been putting on Switch and other consoles? I really hope Sega gives them permission to port Pocket Adventure too. Like, just the basic emulated version of the game on modern platforms for like $5 or something. Imagine playing this game on the Switch, which is also a handheld system. It'd be right at home. Plus, the built-in save state feature would really benefit this game too. Who knows if Sonic Pocket Adventure will see a re-release, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. For now, check the game out however you can, and enjoy this neat little gem that IGN gave a 10 out of 10. That's all I've got to say for now. I'll see you all in the next review, whenever the hell that comes out, and thanks for watching.